Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
We are live, my friends. It is Thursday, the 17th day of March, 2011. We're going to be here at least for the next 3 hours live. Now, Dr. Doug Rockey is undergoing medical treatment, a nuclear physicist in his own right, former head of the Pentagon's DU program and radiation testing safety program for the entire Army, but he wrote the Pentagon program on DU itself. He was both the head of the Pentagon program and the Army program. Is unable to join us. He should be able to join us next week. He's had over 30-plus surgeries from DU exposure. He's there at the VA hospital in D.C. You need to pray for him. But he did give us his colleague's name and number, who it turns out is one of the most prestigious people out there working and reporting for BBC, you name it. Dr. Chris Busby will be joining us today, and he's tracking the government and private radiation monitors in the Pacific, in the Aleutians, in Alaska, and here in the United States. The New York Times did confirm that the United Nations and federal government expect for radiation to make landfall sometime tomorrow in Southern California. The jet stream that like a snake winds around the Earth, the band that goes over Japan, moves between northern United States, southern Canada, and southern California. It moves back and forth. The band that went over 6 days ago when the meltdowns began at Fukushima complex, again, it's moving north and south, back and forth. That band that was over Japan 6 days ago will now be reaching the United States tomorrow and coming in around Southern California. Though it will then, if it follows past forecast, will start moving north again over Oregon, Washington State, and southwestern Canada. But the lighter radiation was released in the first 2 days, obviously, Friday and then into Saturday, and then Fukushima 1 blew up. Obviously, the big release was Fukushima number 3 blowing sky high with hundreds of thousands of spent fuel rods stored on top of the building, ejected into the atmosphere. That should be arriving Sunday or Monday. And again, we don't know where the jet stream will be exactly, but it's forecast to move north at that point. So the first radiation that's going to be hitting is forecast by the New York Times to be light. The problem is we reported on this yesterday. Kurt Nimmo did. It was some of the crew in there that pointed out that Japan in the Fukushima prefecture and surrounding states was, and we'll show that map on screen, was not reporting from the worst hit areas 5 days in. They're still not reporting. We'll put that map up live time. They're still not reporting in those key areas. Again, most of it's being blown out to sea. If you look south, though, you see the red area where they are reporting high levels of radiation, but they're saying that they're under survey and still collating data from the Fukushima area and north of there. And we wrote the article, Governments, Corporations Push Cover-Up of Japanese Nuclear Nightmare. And a data map of radiation levels in Japan posted by the Target Map website has omitted information from the Fukushima prefecture, that's the state, where nuclear reactors are currently melting down. Now, this morning, we posted this yesterday afternoon when the show was still running. Not bragging, I'm just showing we know what we're talking about here. We are a very credible source of information, not because we're smart, but because we're not lying to you. We're following historic nuclear fallout patterns, cover-up patterns, reportage patterns. USA Today does report the Japanese government radiation report for the 47 states Wednesday had notable omission. Fukushima ground zero and the surrounding areas, about 100 kilometers in all areas, there is a cover-up. But the cover-up expands into our own government. Radiation set to make landfall in T-minus less than 24 hours. Southern California. A very wealthy U.S. citizen is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He says it will change everything about our lives. The way you shop, travel, invest, educate your children, and even how you take care of your health and your own family. Now, this man has made some outrageous predictions over the years. The crazy part is, he's usually right. You see, he predicted the collapse of GM, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and America's biggest mall owner, General Growth Properties. In fact, Barron's called his work a dire prophecy. Recently, he created a video, which you can watch online for free, detailing his biggest and most important prediction yet. And it's a real eye-opener. I can't stress this enough. You should at least watch this free video online today. He explains everything you need to know, including simple steps you can take to protect yourself. You can find the video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica, the number 3.com. Watch the free video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com. Hi, folks. This is Alex Jones, and I want to tell you about the Silver Lungs generator. Now you can produce pure and endless colloidal silver and deliver the solution directly into the bloodstream by breathing the solution through the lungs. The respiratory system is the first line of defense for airborne pathogens and viruses. The Silver Lungs generator infuses the respiratory system with your self-produced nano-silver solutions and also delivers the silver nanoparticles instantly into the bloodstream. With continued legislation threatening the sale of nano-silver products, you can now produce pure and endless colloidal silver with the Silver Lungs generator. Very easy to follow, step-by-step instructions are provided, making production fast and simple. Go to www.silverlungs.com today and learn more about the breakthrough technology of the Silver Lungs generator. That's www.silverlungs.com. Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As they're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
I have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at prisonplanet.tv.
From his Central Texas Command Center, deep behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Well, the situation is deteriorating quickly, obviously. The New York Times, talking to multiple government sources, the U.S. Department of Energy, the International Atomic Energy Agency at the United Nations are all confirming that they expect radiation to hit the Aleutian Islands today and to hit Southern California tomorrow. Now, remember, this is the radiation from Friday's Fukushima leak, which did report moderate levels of 3 different isotopes, strontium, cesium, and a radioactive isotope of iodine. Those are nothing. They're very toxic, very radioactive, but nothing compared to uranium and plutonium. From looking at it, knowing that 600,000 plus rods were stored there when Fukushima 1 blew up Saturday, that radiation will be arriving a few days after the radiation from Friday, or as early as a day after. We're talking about Saturday. The jet stream winds like a snake around the world, but it's one stream. The stream that goes directly over Japan is the stream that moves north to south. It varies in a weather pattern. From southern California is as southerly as it generally goes. Sometimes it goes into northern Mexico. And then it goes as high as Alaska. It moves back and forth. The band that was going over Japan on Friday when Fukushima first was hit by the 9.1 earthquake and the tsunami that knocked out its diesel power and its emergency battery power, as well as its primary electrical power line power. It was going over Fukushima when it had leaks that are nothing compared to what's happened since then. So that's the first radiation that's getting here. Weather forecast following past models believe that the jet stream will start moving in the next few days more northerly, and that's bad news for Oregon, Washington State, and southern Canada. So it's going to start moving now more to the north, reportedly in the next few days after that first radiation reportedly makes landfall. The mainstream media will seize on the low-level radiation readings tomorrow and say, see, no big deal, not pointing out that the bigger explosions and the internal containment vessels got breached on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, through Thursday with continual fires and explosions. ABC News reported the Japanese government stated yesterday, we read the quotes on air, that the explosions and radiation is so high that they morally don't even want to send in the Fukushima 50 who have said they're willing to die. They have 180 men in 50-person rotations going in. It's also being reported by mainstream news, what we pointed out 2 days ago. Where are Japanese robots? The Japanese are robot crazy. Where are the robots at Fukushima? Well, the truth is robots just can't get the job done at their current developmental stage that humans can, though robots also have trouble operating in radiation as well. So does camera equipment, you name it. And the radiation is obviously rising off the charts. That's why on Monday, when Fukushima 3, the plutonium-based system blew sky high with hundreds of thousands of rods stored on top of the building, ejected into the sky, not just the containment area breached, but those rods ejected into the sky, that's when the USS Ronald Reagan hauled tail out of the area, and U.S. troops were ordered to pull back and not be involved in the relief effort. Now, here is the key. The Japanese are covering up the radiation levels in the two prefectures or the states surrounding Fukushima. Most of the radiation from weather patterns is going out to sea. That's good for Tokyo. The winds change just for a few hours, as you know, on Tuesday, sparking millions to try to flee the 37+ million metro area of Tokyo. Then the winds change Tuesday night, Wednesday, into today, straight to the east, out over the ocean, with the jet stream going west to east directly towards the United States. So the first radiation, the New York Times reports, is set to be hitting the Aleutian Islands today and the southern west coast of the United States, Southern California, tomorrow, with the jet stream set as it moves up and down, south to north, on a daily basis as the worst radiation comes in, moving more towards the north. Or it may stay on Southern California, and that is one of the worst case scenarios reported on Monday and Tuesday by meteorologists, is that if that radiation comes in, as you know, with the smog, with the mountains to the east of San Diego and Los Angeles and other areas, that it will trap the radiation over the city. If I lived, as a precaution, I personally, if I lived in Los Angeles or in that area, hemmed in by the mountains, by the high desert, where you have the jet stream that comes in and then builds up and then turns north there because of the mountains and runs up the mountain range, I would calmly be heading southeast. I would be going into Arizona. I would be going into Texas. I would be going into Mississippi and Louisiana. I will be honest with the audience. I am not leaving